Okay, well, I didn't record much because I got in there and I got to work. But I got, I don't know, a quarter of the ceiling done in G and Pops's, and then I went through and did a bunch of screw hole patching throughout the laundry room, and I dropped off a lot of my tools. I, for whatever reason, forgot to drop off my big sander. Quarter of the living room ceiling is taped and mud with the first coat. And now I'm off to take Alora to her horseback riding lessons, and probably gonna have to come back tomorrow and continue on. So I'll show you tomorrow when I get there what I did today, and then show you what I end up doing tomorrow. Good morning. Day 2 of Sheetrock. Got my handy dandy Red Bull, and it looks like some conduit was run for the electric meter here. So, gotta get my little bucket. I've been soaking it overnight. This is our little area to soak our little buckets. This one's mine, the red one. Let's grab it and go inside. Okay, so we only have a little bit of mud left, and G put in an order for more yesterday to be picked up. I told her we're gonna need at least 3 buckets. This is what I started on yesterday. I did one, well, I put the tape down, and then I put a thin layer over the tape, and it's just the first coat, so I'll have to come back and sand this down lightly and then do 2 more feathered out coats of mud on the, you know, you put your first coat down, then the tape, then a little bit over the tape, and then you lightly sand it, just lightly, because you don't want to get down to the tape. If you scratch the tape, you're gonna have to float over it again. And then you come back with another light layer, feathered out a little bit further, so you get kind of wider and wider a little bit, and you sand, and then you go one more, and you sand, and then we're gonna paint this whole thing with drywall paint, and then we'll texture it. So that's the process. But I don't even know if you could call this a quarter of the ceiling, maybe a quarter, yesterday. That's what I worked on, and we're gonna have to do this. We don't have much mud though. So we need, G put it in order, like I said, a couple more buckets. But because I can only work here for a little bit today, I'm gonna use what I can to fill the remainder of these screw holes, because you have to, all these screw holes are gonna need to be mudded over and then sanded as well. So there's at least mud enough for that, and then also, you know, we still have, there's screws that are gonna need to be covered regardless, which I worked in here yesterday a little bit on these. With G's help. G did some of these as well. So plenty of mud to do the small things that still need to be done. Kim worked really hard yesterday on these rooms back here. She did the ceiling in here and all the tape in here. So huge help. I honestly thought I was going to be doing it by myself, so pleasantly surprised to see that they were also going to be doing taping and floating with me. So happy about that. Yep. So I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna get started in here, and I'm glad I left my headphones in here because now I can just plug away. I've got Caden's orthodontist appointment this afternoon, and we've got to go school clothes shopping. So that is my morning and afternoon plans, and I will hopefully get as much as I can done with this bucket. I'll update you guys. Okay, so as I'm doing the sheetrock, covering up some of these screw holes, I am having to stop, and this happens sometimes, but the installers sometimes don't sink the screws in all the way, and you can't just mud over a screw that's not completely submerged. Here, hold on a second. So it needs to be sunk into the sheetrock, and if you run your trowel, this should be flat. You should not hear that at all. This one kind of barely made the cut here. I might actually try to sink this one a little bit more, because we want to cover that, and we want it to have the putty completely cover that screw. So this, I sometimes have to stop, get the drill, and sink this in a touch. I'll do this one too. Just a little bit, okay? That way the mud can, oh, here we go. So doing this one-handed is a little crazy. You don't need a whole lot. Let me just get a little bit on here. That way the mud can completely fill that hole right there. We'll go back over that one, just like that. Okay, that's how that's done. So don't take shortcuts. Don't just mud over a popped out screw. Sink it really well, that way later on you don't have screw pop out marks in your ceiling. So I'm working right here by the window, and I just pulled my little ladder over it, and look at the cutest little view. That isn't precious. Cute little Cash. I wish I could join him. Just living his best life over at Gigi's Swing. I know the kids will find out one day just how blessed they are, but it's nice to appreciate even now. Well, I think maybe someone got distracted on this piece, because there's no screws. Yikes. We're gonna need to put some screws at the end of this. Well, they've got, yeah, they just didn't make it all the way to the end, so we definitely need to put screws. I gotta go find screws. Okay. Okay. I had just enough mud to do the bathroom and to get the, well, not to finish it, but to do the first coat, tape and float. And then I did, it's kind of dark in here, I turned off the light, but I did a first round of all the patching all the screw holes. I didn't get to tape in here after that first section yesterday because I didn't have enough mud to continue in here, but at least I got the bathroom started. And that's done. So, I feel like I used my time and my materials wisely. That will be a wrap on my day 2 of sheetrock at Gigi and Pawpaw's. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
On the Denman Homestead, where the sun sets golden in the west, we live in harmony with nature, doing what we love best. From the garden to the kitchen, and the bees inside their hive. On the Denman Homestead, come along and plant, nourish, thrive.